Welcome on in. Welcome to the 411 podcast. Tonight, we are speaking on Woke but Broke. This 5 restoration, the 411 podcast, Reading Between the Wines. This is episode 14, and it is May 15th. But before we go ahead and get started, I want to say a very special thank you to my executive producer. I thank God for giving me another opportunity to come out here and give you the 411 podcast. I thank each and every one of you out there. Thank you so much for liking, commenting, sharing, stopping by. Whatever you do to support the 411 podcast, Reading Between the Wines, I want to say thank you so much. And if you can please do me a favor, please like, comment, share, subscribe, tag, do whatever you need to do to help support in any way that you feel necessary. I want to say thank you so much. Also, before we go ahead and move on, I want to say that this feels so much like home. And that's because it is home. This is where it started in 2020. And I do a lot of speaking engagements. I have a lot of things going on outside of the 411 podcast, but it's nothing like coming back home to where it originally started. Coming back home without any restrictions, rules, and, the other things that come with the territory. So I made a vow to make sure that we continue this process since we started it in 2020. And we're here, we're home. Let's relax. Let's do what we know how to do best. And I believe that I saw SOS out there. If you are listening, there is a special link. So there's a special link, and I will make sure that I go ahead and text you that link now if I can. And I don't know if I can, but there is a special link out there. I probably can't because I'm in another screen now and we're rolling. But if you're getting this message and you're out there, there is a link. If you can check your email, and you should be able to click on that link and come right in on the show here. For those of you, if you are interested in sitting in and want to be a reoccurring guest on the show, you can email me at info@larengaines.com and I can give you some more information. That is info@larengaines.com. I am accepting new students to come in, and as we dissect every night, I can use some support. And I'd like to support you as well, especially on this debt-free journey, on this debt-free learning. And phone number is 609-200-1098. Again, that number is 609-200-1098. However you reach out to me, whether it's a DM, text message, email, please feel free to reach out and I can get you some more information. So we're here, track 14, Woke but Broke. But before we get into that, I want to speak about last night, Reading Between the Wines. I had another great session with special guest, author Birdman 313, and I sampled Canyon Road Moscato. It was some good wine. I poured me about 3 glasses, not all the way to the brim, but I definitely sampled enough, and I felt pretty good last night. And we read from the book The Secret. And I don't this author. I know I should know her name properly. I pronounce it. I think it's Rhonda. Well, I know it's Rhonda. That's her first name. But the last name, I kind of stumble sometimes. But I believe it's Rhonda Bryan. Anyone out there, if I said it, you can let me know. But we all heard the famous book, The Secret. But it was very mystical how I asked Birdman 13 to pick a specific number, and he picked 55. And when he picked 55, we opened up to the page, and it was about action. It was about taking action. And when we helped Miss Crystal, I felt that that was something that she can get. She was a bartender. She was pouring herself drinks, numbing her pain to avoid the situations that she was dealing with on hand, which was debt, divorce. And we came to the conclusion that there needed to be some action. And Birdman spoke up about the first step is taking action. And I say taking responsibility for your life and removing yourself away from something that is going to tempt you. So if you have a drinking problem, if you have a shopping problem, whatever the case may be, you probably want to go ahead and limit those. So in Crystal's case, if you have a drinking problem, it's probably not wise that you work at a bar. If you have a shopping problem, it's probably not wise that you work at a clothing store if you know that that's what you like to buy and you like to wear and you like to do. So, taking responsibility, taking action, and cleaning up your environment. So, for my example, I had a little bit of an attitude back in the day. That's because I didn't love myself and I didn't know who I was. But the first thing that I did was got up and take responsibility for myself and remove myself around ignorant people that might trigger me to want to cuss people out and start going upside their head. So you know what? Since I can't control you, the first person I can control and the only person that I control is myself. So how about I remove myself from these negative situations and these comments and these things that might trigger the Tasmanian devil in me. So that's what I did. And I got up and I took responsibility. So we gave Crystal a few suggestions last night of her starting by cleaning up your environment. So now tonight we gonna do the same thing. We here to help, we here to grow, we here to learn. So stick around and you'll figure out what our scenario tonight is. But the title of tonight's show is Woke But Broke. So let's get right on into the song of the day. And we have Miss Fantasia. Song of the day, Truth Is, released in 2004 off of her album Free Yourself. So when we speak about Truth Is, this song, Fantasia, is basically facing her truth. She knows what the truth is in a relationship. She loves the person, says that she probably shouldn't have let him go, and she knows what the truth is. So now the question I have to ask you is, what is your truth? What truths are you not facing in your life? How easy is it for you to just say that I'm okay, but in reality, you know that you're not 100%. We all aren't 100%. We can strive for it, but if you know that you're at like 50, maybe you wake up and you're at 40% and someone asks you how you're doing and you say that you're just okay. Is that really facing the truth? How easy is it for you to cover up? I've done this in the past, cover up any emotional baggage, any trauma, any situations that you are dealing with people, places, and material things. How easy is it for you to cover things up, surrounding yourself by people? Sometimes those people could care less about you. Sometimes those people are plotting your downfall. Sometimes those people say one thing, and then as soon as you turn your back, they say another. Sometimes these people, they're just waiting for the setup for them to do the 180 on you. What about going to places, putting yourself in environments that you know you have no business being in, just to try to make yourself feel better, just try to, get along with the get along, get in where you can fit in. And of course, buying material things. We speak about that heavily on this show here tonight because that's how a lot of us get ourselves into situation. That's how a lot of us put ourselves into some of these toxic debt situations because we focus on the material. We focus on worldly possessions. So how easy is it for you to cover up with people, places, and material things instead of looking yourself in the mirror, facing the truth? Remember, everything starts with self. So maybe we might need to look in that mirror. Maybe we might need to tell ourselves the truth. So are you facing your truth? Do you know what the truth is when it comes to you? Because only you know what the truth is when it comes to you. You're going to know that more than anybody else does because everything starts with self and everything starts with you. So are you facing the truth, or are you continuously covering things up with people, places, material things? Track 14, Woke But Broke. Now, I don't know if my special guest is out there tonight, but There is a link if you're listening. Check your email, follow that link, and I want to say thank you to everybody who is joining. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. If you can please like, comment, share, subscribe, tag a friend, invite more people in. I want to give a very special shout out to the D Live family. Y'all love the single mom struggle episode. Thank you so much for showing love on D Live. And again, before we get started here tonight, I am on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, YouTube, D Live, Twitch, Daily Motion. The audio version is available on multiple different platforms. I can't even name them. I'm so thankful for them all. I can name a few, but I can't name them all. The ones that come to mind: iHeartRadio, Deezer, Spotify, Amazon Music, Audacity, Podcast. Thank you so much for all of the love and support wherever you stream, wherever you view the show, listen to the show. Thank you so much. Please share it with friends, family. All right, so we're going to get into tonight's scenario. We're heading on over to St. Louis, Missouri. I believe my special guest has joined. Thank you so much. I see you out there. So happy to have you on. How are you doing?
Look terrible.
You can turn your camera off too. You don't have to put your camera on. There should be a button to turn it off. I'll let you get situated with that because I can see it behind the scenes. So as my special guest, Miss SOS, is getting her camera together. We're going to try her one more time and see. All right. All right, you should be set now.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Good.
Hi. Yeah, I
Hello.
think so. You can hear me?
I can hear you so well.
It's been crazy. I've been ready. I've been ready like all day to do this, and then um, the moment that I feel like okay, I got it, and it's like I didn't have it.
But,
So I'm like,
but
never mind.
but guess what? Most
I'm here
important thing.
now.
Exactly, exactly. So we are
Oh
here.
my goodness.
Welcome to Coaching Sessions
Thank
Thursday.
you. Thank you.
So glad to have you in. And let's get right on into tonight's scenario.
Yeah.
So we are helping Jaden, Mr. Jaden Phillips. Oops, I wasn't supposed to say the last name. I'm sorry. Scratch. See what you did. See what you did. But it's all good. We here to help Mr. Jaden, St. Louis, Missouri. I'm sorry, I meant Branson, Missouri. No,
Uh-huh.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's St. Louis, Missouri. Jaden. So Jaden is a life coach and a freelance speaker, and Jaden teaches about generational curses, legacy, and financial freedom. But he's 3 months behind on rent. He's more focused on his brand than his budget. And while his message is powerful, his personal finances are a mess. So I'll read that again. Jaden, who is a life coach and a freelance speaker, teaches about generational curses, legacy, and financial freedom, but he's 3 months behind on rent. He's more focused on his brand than his budget, and while his message is very powerful, his personal finances are a mess. So, Miss SOS, what do you have to say about Jaden's situation?
I thought about this long and hard because it's a very real situation, but I don't want to come off as judgmental, but we're just having a conversation. So I see him as being a very brilliant person. He
Mm,
probably is passionate about what he does. He just has the gift of gab. charming, and he just comes off as this star, when he's teaching people or talking to people or coaching them. But the thing about it is that I feel like he's not really being honest with himself. And sometimes, okay, this is what I think. I don't want to get too off into it, but I think that sometimes people feel, if I can only do this and just stick with it, just focus on it, then somehow or another, maybe I can get out of this debt that I have. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm,
But
mm-hmm.
they're not really doing anything to they're not really being intentional, like having a plan to get
Mm,
out of the debt. It's just let me do this because I'm sure if I can do this and get this, then it'll be a cinch for me to catch up on my rent. And to
mm.
me, that's not, you're really lying to yourself at this point.
Yeah, it's almost like a sort of, I guess, gambling with debt, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Interesting.
But the thing, but what I do recognize is that there are so many people out in the world who really have the knack for something, and they can get all of these people, they can probably start generating money as well. But the thing about it is that if something were to happen to that person and the very people that they're coaching find out, oh my God, this guy is like in so much debt and he's wanted by, but yet we're all following this dude, like he's really good at what he says, but
Mm,
his life is jacked up. So
I will
that's
tell
my
you.
take on
I will tell you that there was a reason why I stepped away for a while.
it. Were you jacked up?
I listen in 2022. I'm sitting here saying, "All right, you keep saying all of these things, but behind the scenes, it ain't matching up." And exactly what you said, like I felt the doors closing in, and I
Hmm.
was like, "Well, uh, there will be no more welcome to the 411 podcast if we don't get these finances in line." So, I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly. Go ahead. You were
But
gonna say.
I was going to say, but you recognized it. You didn't want that feeling anymore. You wanted to do something with your life for you to make yourself better, not to be a people pleaser or anything. So you recognized it, you know?
Yeah, and
Uh,
I love how you say that a lot of people they can do certain things, they can generate. We all can. We all have the ability to generate, and we all are creators. God is a creator and we're made in his image, so that's what we have in us. That's what we're put on this planet Earth, universe, whatever you want to call it to do. But
yeah.
the biggest thing that is in between us and our purpose and what we're supposed to do is what we spoke about last night is action, taking action. So
Mm-hmm.
we have so many people that read books, they attend seminars, they learn all types of stuff. They, you know, have a mentor. They might even take coaching, life coaching, financial coaching, whatever the case may be. But then they just go back to being normal, go back to their old ways, and they don't take that action. So, what good is it for you to gain all of this information if you don't take any action and apply it and make those mistakes? And it's life. There's going to be ups, downs, peaks, valleys, but we have to actually put action behind it. We have to actually test it out. We have to actually try it to see exactly you know what comes of it.
Yeah. I feel like you're not going to do what you're going to do until you really just stop the shit and do it. And that's with anything. It's just not going to you're not going to do anything until you just stop doing what you're doing.
It it sounds like Jaden is in stages of a awakening, a spiritual
Mhm.
awakening. And
Mhm.
while he's learning about the generational curses and legacies and the financial freedom and all of those things, he's behind in his rent. You know, sometimes it takes for people to hit rock bottom. And I
Yes.
truly believe that there's so many people who I have coached and they didn't hit their rock bottom. So they will get halfway through the coaching program and then back out.
Mhm.
Um, they make financial emotional decisions,
Mhm.
um, go on a shopping spree at the last minute after they've worked so hard to, or go swipe the credit card again. That's somebody, and those are examples of people who haven't hit their rock bottom. Someone who has hit their rock bottom, they know that they've hit their lowest point and they can't get any lower. So the only way that they can get up is to
Mhm.
climb out of their hole and climb out of their situation. And after you go through
Exactly.
all of that, you don't want to go back.
Exactly. And so that really is the key right there, is like hitting rock bottom. And some might say, well, why would a person want to do anything? I don't even ask questions like that about people anymore. Everybody's different. People are wherever they are supposed to be, maybe on their journey or whatever. I mean, you may be 10 steps ahead of that person, and that person behind you. We don't have a rhyme or a reason, but you can just only hope that if that's what they want to do, um, then eventually they'll get it. But I really do agree with you when you say until you hit rock bottom. That goes with anything. Jesus. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, anything, something that you really want to do, but you just have it bad,
Yeah, yeah.
you know? Yeah.
What I'll use myself for an example. One thing that I had to learn is that I don't know every damn thing.
Mhm.
I used to
Mhm.
work. I used to work for a. I'll just say I worked in corporate, and
Mhm.
they had these teaching techniques, and they had all of these things, and it was easy for. And they called people experts and stuff. Oh, did you reach out to an expert? Did you reach out to
Mhm.
the expert? So it's easy for you to think that you become a know-it-all just because you're good
Mhm.
at one thing. So,
Mhm.
but the man that knows everything knows nothing at all.
Yeah, I've heard that one before.
And even though you might be a coach, you might be a mental coach, a financial coach, every coach has a coach and every coach has a mentor. So I don't know if Jaden has one or not, but
Mhm.
I'm not saying that this is a terrible situation.
Mhm.
He can probably get out of this, but maybe he should have a coach. Maybe he should have someone he can look up to. We only get like a snapshot, but I would suggest maybe seeking some coaching, seeking some sort of mentorship
Mhm.
to help. Any other things that we can give Mr. Jaden here?
Um, well, first off, this is my opinion, but if this is what, Jaden wants to do, and he's, kind of making a life of it, or whatever you want to call it, yes, having a mentor, but I definitely feel like you should probably surround yourself with like-minded people who
Mm.
are same thing, or just having the same intentions, because that's the only way really to break that cycle. And if you want to call it a generational curse, you that's the one thing that will help you to see that, wow, okay, so other people really are doing this, and what I'm doing is just so so far back in time that it's like doesn't even exist, but I'm still in it. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? And these people right here, they're like, ahead of time. They broke the cycle. So basically, I just think sometimes people have to be introduced, to other like-minded people who can, sort of guide them. As long as Jaden still has his own mind, and he's not totally being led by somebody else, but just guidance.
that makes sense. I love that how you said surround yourself by like-minded people. You know, I had to clean up a lot of things and a lot of people that didn't serve me. Every relationship and every situation has its purpose and it has its timeline. And we end up putting ourselves into situations when we want to try to hold on to every single relationship, every single piece. It's almost like hoarding. And people are brought in our lives to teach us something, and they're here for, what do they say, reasons and seasons. And sometimes, it might be done. And I found myself in situations when I tried to hold on and I tried to reach back out. And how come you ain't calling? How come you this? If you have to chase people down, then maybe those people are not the people that you need in your life. And was a game changer for me when I realized that you are only an average, just an average of the five closest people that you surround yourself around. So just an average.
Mm, wow.
So when I started to learn that, I said, Laren, number one, you thought you were a know it all. Number two, you prided yourself, which once you have pride, pride comes first, and then after that is destruction. You pride yourself as being the smartest person in a room, and that's not cool because when you are the smartest person in a room, that means that where's the rest of the learning coming from?
Wow.
So if you look at your circle, everyone, and you realize that you are the smartest person in a room and everyone's coming to you all the time and you want to be very prideful about, oh, yeah, I know everything and people come to me for advice for everything, as you are releasing, who's filling you back up
Mm,
with knowledge and information? As you release knowledge, information, guidance, help, however you want to call it, where does your refill come from?
wow.
So that like-minded people thing is definitely on point. Like, for example, if you are surrounded by a bunch of people who have bad money habits and they like to shop, spend, fine dine when they don't have it, and that's what you surround yourself by, and remember you're going to be an average of the five people you surround yourself by, what do you think you're going to do?
Wow.
Now, now,
You know.
you just opened up the door because listen, when I was in relationships, I know this ain't a topic about relationships because we've been there and done that before. But
Uh-huh.
okay, so now you're married, you're dating, whatever, and do you want your spouse that you just said I do to be hanging around their single friends?
Nope.
You know, association brings on participation, and you're an average of the five people that you surround yourself with. So, why would somebody who is married or in a relationship be hanging around a bunch of single people? What do you think
Yeah.
is going to
Something.
happen?
I mean, don't get me started. I can talk, but I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna be quiet right now. Yeah, something.
So, that was a good point. I like that for the like
Hmm.
minded people.
Yeah. Yeah, but he will definitely have to. I don't know. He may just have to sit with himself. I don't personally know him, but just just talking. And the thing for me is that I don't want to come off as judgmental, because I think everybody's sometimes trying wherever they are. But if they're really going to do this and be, um, what's the word, dedicated to
Hmm.
what they're doing, they're just things that you're going to have to change, and that's just the way it is. It's with anything. If you want your life to be better and you want to not do what you were doing before, because what happens, you keep getting the same results, you know what I mean, and nothing's changed. And sometimes we want to blame other people, but honestly, we all know that it's never about the other people. It's more so about
Mm.
you.
Everything starts with self. I love that. I love
Yep.
that.
hmm
It
and that's with anything.
exactly. When I learned that, my life changed
Yes, that's with anything.
because I was always blaming people. But that is a good point. And change. You spoke about change, and it's just the pain of change. It's never easy,
Yeah.
and there's some work that needs to be. And it's that key word again, action.
Yeah. Can I just say something else too?
Sure.
With the shift that's going on, and I know some people, I can't make people believe what I believe, but I know that this shift is no joke. I mean, this is something that has been trying to happen for years. It's like a snake coming out of his skin, or a baby coming out of his mother's, canal. It's painful. You're being born, this earth is being reborn. I cannot believe the people who are going through stuff. I mean, painful stuff. It's like everybody. I don't think I've run into anybody that's not going through something right now. And I myself, I mean, I have been through some things, Laren,
Mm-hmm.
but in 2025, in May of 2025, I'm just like, Lord, don't let me find a moving train, okay? Which I'm not going to, but I'm just kind of using that as a metaphor. Like, I really, I feel like I'm trying to be reborn again or something, because something is, I'm just like out of sorts all the way around.
Well, it is a tough time right now, and I want to say that I'm being optimistic that things are going
Mm-hmm.
to look up, which we have to think that way. But this is some time of uncertainty, put it that way. But with that, there's always a positive. There's always a
Mm-hmm.
positive. Once we get through it, as my mentor says, winter always turns to spring.
Yeah.
So what happens is when we can embrace it, when we
Mm-hmm.
know that spring is coming during the winter, we just think
Mm-hmm.
it's spring. Okay, I might be going through something right now, but trust and believe that winter always turns to spring. So at the end, keep your mind on the end game. Don't focus on the pain that you're in right now. Focus
Mm-hmm.
on results, because
Yeah.
what you focus on will become reality. And go ahead.
No, I
Whenever.
was gonna say, ain't that the truth?
And what we're focusing and what we're dealing with now. So anybody who's dealing with anything, all it is the thoughts that we thought about yesterday. It's our
Mm,
mindset from yesterday. So
mm,
focus on changing that mindset, and everything starts with you. Everything starts with self. You already spoke about not
mm,
blaming anybody, not pointing fingers.
mhm,
Whatever circumstance we have here today, and I'll never forget in 2020 when my physician told me this, Laren, there are no coincidences. And I thought that this lady was crazy. I'm like, what in the hell is she talking?
mhm,
But she told me it is not a coincidence that you are sitting here speaking to me what you're speaking to right now. You're going through a breakup. You're about to
mm,
go through a divorce. The fact that you have two children, the fact that you left this job, that this is not a coincidence.
mhm.
Everything that
Yeah,
we are facing here, remember I said God made us creators, right?
that's right.
We write
Yeah.
our own stories.
Whew. Don't get
And
me started.
my mentor says, Laren, you can write pain or you can write medicine.
Mhm,
So it's all on
mhm.
the thought process, just what you focus on.
It really is true, though. Um,
And it's easier said than done. I know it ain't that
yeah,
easy.
But I mean, I do feel like if I had one bit of information or piece of something, not even advice, but just something hopeful to tell someone is, um, besides going out and spending money that you probably don't need to spend, try to find something else that really gives you peace, like music gives me peace.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I don't care how bad I'm feeling or whatever. I know that I can go to something. It's probably going to be Barry White or somebody like that. And I know his music is probably melancholy, but that bass, it's just something about that bass. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And I was just like,
Mm-hmm.
I hear you, Barry. Okay, I'm gonna be, I'm gonna feel better.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you know what my favorite one is.
oh Lord, yes,
What
I
was
do. MJB.
Yeah, the ecstasy. No Barry White though. The
Oh, you talking about
ecstasy.
Oh, okay, Barry
Be,
White. Oh,
be,
yeah, definitely.
because of Mary J. Blige, she remixed
Uh,
it. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But yeah, so that's my go-to. So that would be my message. It's really really hard though, but you just gotta want it. You just gotta, like just put your hands up and just say, Jesus or whoever you praise, take the wheel, because I can't do this. I really can't do this. Find something that just makes you happy. That's all. If it's just looking through a magazine, if it just changes, your mood or something. I know it all sounds corny, but I do. I do all of those things.
It don't
And
sound corny to me because listen, before that I was doing everything but what you said, and I wouldn't even be here today. So it's either
Mhm.
life or death. Now, which one is it going to be? That's what I had to tell myself.
Yeah. Hmm. Exactly.
But I love the vibe. I love all of the. We went to a mental aspect tonight. See, it's a wild card here on the coaching session Thursday. So
Hmm.
we got a little mental here, working on that mental, which is good
Hmm.
because this is a
Hmm.
mental health awareness month.
Hmm. That
Which,
it is.
which I used to be a mess. I'll be honest.
Mhm.
I was a
Mhm.
mess, and people were telling me about my mental health, and I wasn't paying attention or listening to it.
Mhm.
So everything
Do you
starts with self. Please focus on your mental health.
do you
And
think
don't,
you had an aha moment? I mean, sometimes, like I had an aha moment. I had to laugh at myself because I actually felt stupid when I got and I was like, "Oh my God, that's what that is. That's exactly what this means." I had like the light bulb came on. So, like for you, when you're talking about something mental or whatever, have you had like the light bulb moment lately or something to just say, okay, I get this. I see why this is happening.
I think you touched base when you said and please don't misquote me if I missed it or went over my
Uh,
head. You said Jesus take the wheel.
uh,
That's one of the best things that I had learned how to do, and that was it because it was a mental trip when I thought that I was in control. Ladies and gentlemen, we all might think that we're in control of our current circumstances, but when you realize that you're not, and when you realize that you can release, and when you learn how to release, that's called faith. And that's walking by faith and not by sight. When you feel that you need to step in and jump and turn and do and manipulate and make this and that happen, that's where all of the hell and all of the drama and all of the upset comes into place. And the aha moment for me, I love that term that you used too, came when I realized that I needed to get some self control. And
mm,
my mentor says everything starts with self, and I continuously keep saying that over and over again. And that's the theme. I was trying to control other people. Our biggest, I want to say, biggest job, if you want to look at it as a job that God has given us, is self control. And every day that we wake up, It's like the reset button has been set, and we have to focus and learn this key thing, which is called self control. Now, if we have to go through this reset button every single day and focus so hard on self control, how do you think you can control somebody else if you can't even control yourself?
Mhm.
So I had to learn how to stop controlling things and get out the way. It don't have
Mhm.
nothing to do with me.
Mhm. Exactly.
I think life got so much better when I realized that I can't control people. And my mentor always says, Laren, you cannot beat people into submission.
Mm.
I just spoke to her today and she told me, you can't beat people into submission. Stop trying to make people, they're not your children. First of all, you
Oh
shouldn't even be
God.
beating on your children anyway. I don't beat my children.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But you can't beat people into submission. They're not going to do what you want them to do. And if they do, it's only going to be temporary. And as soon as you turn your back, they're going to turn around and do it again anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm
Uh,
just laughing to myself because I'm one of those people that can be having a conversation with a group of people and somebody will say something already. I've made a movie out of what they said in my
oh
mind.
yeah, yeah. What are you
Oh God.
what are you picturing? Beating somebody into submission?
Yes, beating the shit out of 'em.
Oh, see, you know what?
That's why I say you can't have me on your show because I don't know how to act.
Oh my goodness. Well, Well,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, we have Miss SOS on here tonight, and this is Coaching Session Thursdays. And now we are getting ready to get into our burning question segment. So, if you'd like to chime in on tonight's session, let us know how you feel about the vibe. Chime in on Jaden's situation. Maybe we missed something. Listen, everybody has their different angles. We are not, you know, giving any advice. We're just giving our opinions. And yeah, you can give yours as well. 609 200 1098. Again, that number is 609 200 1098. And we're going to get into burning questions. So, the burning question that I have for each and every one of you out there tonight is, what does emotional debt look like in your relationships? And how do you begin to pay it back or walk away? And I'll read that again. So, what does emotional debt look like in your relationships? And how do you begin to pay it back or walk away?
That's a deep one. Mm.
I'll say this about emotional debt. I want you to think about your emotions, okay?
Mm.
And I want you to think about when people play games with your emotions. I want you to think about when you're not in control of your emotions. Remember, I said everything starts with self and self control. And
Yeah.
I used to be like Vivian Green, an emotional roller coaster. And it was always up and down. And no matter what somebody said, I was up and down. You said this or said that. And just think about up and down depending on what somebody else is doing and manipulating. So people can play off of your emotional state and your mental state, and they can do things and they can be make a mockery, and it can be fun when let's get this person all riled up because we know they're gonna black out and act like a fool. I'm sure they said it about me plenty of times, and it's okay because I'm in
Mm.
control today. But think about someone who's not in control, and it doesn't always have to be outbursts. People can
Mm.
say things, you can internalize things, and you can be having an emotional roller coaster internally.
Mhm.
So, how do you begin to pay it back? What if someone's giving you love and they're giving you a lot of emotional support and they're in your corner? So, how do you pay it back? Or if someone's playing that game and they're taking you on a ride and you want off, how do you walk away from it?
Mm. I was probably one of those people. I walked away. It took a while, but I did. It was definitely emotional, very internal because, you hear me talk a lot of smack, but really, I'm an introvert when it comes to my deepest of feelings. Sometimes you just won't know because
Mm,
I'm, I'm trying to deal with it, and I don't like telling a lot of people my business, even some of my best girlfriends, because I have to deal with this.
mm-hmm,
And you know, sometimes your girlfriends sometimes feel like they're in your corner or they're giving you advice, but it's not. It it doesn't really come off because sometimes it actually backfires. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm making any sense, but anyway, I'm just saying that mine is usually internal. So I'm just very quiet with my stuff because I'm trying to.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
I'm following you.
Yeah.
So that's a good point when you said when you listen to people and when it comes to emotional debt, because you said that you take advice or you listen and then it backfires. That's why I always say check the
Mhm.
facts and check the sources. So, for example, we were talking about
Mhm.
Jaden, how he is a financial guru or whatever, but 3 months behind in his
Mhm.
rent. So check the facts and make sure that you know exactly where you're getting your information from. So, for example, I'm not taking relationship advice from a single person.
Mhm.
You ain't in no relationship, so I'm not taking any advice. That's the same example for people who are
Mhm.
married. Why are you taking advice from somebody who's single?
Mhm.
Like it doesn't make any sense. So check the facts first. And that might be a case where you walk away. And check this out. I spoke about unsolicited advice in the
Mhm.
past. People can give you advice, but you don't have to go and follow through with
Mhm.
it.
Mhm. Yeah.
Having that good level of discernment to say, okay, I know what this person is saying, but in reality, something just don't sit right.
Yeah.
So,
And if I can say one other thing, for me over the years, I mean, kind of started when I was young, but it sometimes I understand it a little bit more as I get older. But things come to me. It just like, phew,
mm,
whoa, okay, where did that come from? Am I losing my mind?
right.
Things will come to me. And I'm like, okay, wow. And boy, oh boy, I cannot tell you how accurate those things have been. So that's why I say sometimes just don't say anything. I mean, you don't have to beat yourself up, while you're going through this emotional whatever turmoil that you're going through. But I know for me, I need to be still. I need to be quiet. I need to think. I need to go to sleep. A lot of times I just deal with mine by
I,
sleeping.
I know what you mean. That's where a lot of breakthroughs come
Mhm.
through. Like, I'll say it again, everything starts with
Mhm.
self. And sometimes it doesn't require us to say
Nope.
something.
Mhm.
But an example of emotional debt. So I was in all types of
Mhm.
debt, but I was also in emotional debt. But what happened is that my mentor, she continued to pay the bill for me. I was like saying everything negative about myself, saying everything negative about my situation. And she kept correcting me. She kept mentoring me. She kept teaching me, telling me all of these things. Everything starts with self. Winter always turns to spring. Everything over and over and over again until finally one day it clicked and I got it. Now, I met her in 2019. It didn't click until, and it was a couple stages of clicking. It didn't really click until really click
Mhm.
click until I would say 2022.
Yeah.
Now, all of that time that she was building and paying that emotional debt, she never
Mhm.
stopped. And she never stopped believing in
Mhm.
me. And I remember one time I complained to her about somebody, and she said, Laren, well, what happened if I had given up on you?
Mm.
Oh,
Mhm.
wow. So at that moment, I realized that I have to repay back. I give back to my community. I give back to whoever. When I see somebody who was in a situation that I
Mhm.
was in, I have like a sort of soft spot for them in my heart, and I'm like, okay, this is my opportunity to
Mhm.
repay, you know, that emotional debt.
Mhm.
So
And that's what you
that's
were
one
meaning by how do you repay or do you just walk away?
that's a
Yeah.
positive example of how I pay back.
Yeah.
Now I'll give you another example. Sometimes we have to be surrounded by family because we just
Mhm.
have to. Sometimes we have to be surrounded by people in the workplace because what are we going to do? Not work? Like we can't pick and choose some of the circumstances that we're
Mhm.
stuck in. But I had to mentally walk away from somebody who I was stuck
Mhm.
with just because of those specific circumstances. So when I say walk away, mentally shut down, don't listen to anything negative. If I say that the sun is shining, this person would say it's cloudy. If I say that I'm feeling great and wonderful and beautiful, this one says, well, why did I get up this morning? I mean, I was in this situation with this individual and I was sort of stuck in it. And I was just praying the whole time, like, God, please, please get me out of this situation. But that's an example of walking away because this individual was much older than me, stuck in their ways, to this day continuously speaks curses over their lives, and there's nothing that I can do about it. So that's where I'm not going to be emotionally drained by it. I'm not responsible for anybody's nervous system. I don't want to be responsible for anybody else's emotions. And if you're going to continuously do things to the point where it starts to affect me and drain me emotionally, then I got to walk away.
Hello? You still there? Oh, okay.
Yes,
I was just making
yes. Did we
No,
lose you?
I just
Okay.
wanted to make sure you I heard you talking, but something was funny with my phone. Um what was I going to say? When you start to give the example of everything that you were going through with your person at that time, do you want to tell me what came over my whole body when you said that? I felt so exhausted. I felt
Mm.
while you were saying that, I just felt like, Jesus, I am so exhausted.
Energy shifts. So,
Were you
mm,
feeling that way? Were you
interesting.
feeling that way? I'm just saying that that's what my body felt like, just exhausted. Just can't
Well,
do
I
anything.
was feel I was feeling that way every day when I was interacting with
Yeah,
this
that's what I'm
individual.
saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
yes,
how I
absolutely.
felt
Yes,
while you were
you were.
explaining it. I was
Yes,
exhausted.
it was very, very exhausting, and I don't have time for energy
Yeah.
vampires. I don't, and I try to avoid them, and I I can spot one a mile
I
away.
think you're probably very empathetic.
Absolutely.
That's why I stay to myself,
Yeah.
really. It's not because I don't like people. I love people, helping people. I love to talk and things like that. But it's like the moment I get out and it's just like, oh God, I could just feel everybody's energy and I just want to go back home again. And it's like, well, I don't want to live my life like that either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and people feed off of empaths,
Yes.
so
Yes.
it's not good.
Yeah. So this is really great. I love it.
That is awesome. I'm so glad. I'm so
Yeah,
glad.
very great.
So any last words, feedback, anything you'd like to give to whether it's Jaden, myself, the burning questions, the people out there listening. I will say that we do have some higher ratings
Oh
tonight,
wow.
so look at that.
Well, I can't see anything,
You
but you can.
you brought the crowd
Oh,
tonight.
thank you. Thank you. I don't know what to say because I just say none of us are perfect. You know, we are where we are in life. And I'm not the kind of person who says, well, uh, again, I don't know why that person's doing that. I just stopped saying shit like that a long time ago because people just do what they do, and they, wherever they are in life, I mean, they just got to get it. We're just not all on the same page.
Right. Nor will we ever be.
Exactly. So they'll get it in their own time, and if they don't, then move along. It's
Absolutely.
just as
Yeah.
simple as that, you know. But, and I just wish everybody well, you know, and take care of yourself. And, you know, if you want to cuss somebody out, just cuss them out in your head. Because I'm always cussing somebody out in my head. But anyway,
Yes. Well, I'm not. I'm listen. My days of doing that is over, so I don't do that anymore.
oh God. Well, it keeps me
But
going
remember,
sometimes. So, you know.
I spoke about this in my class
Uh-uh.
earlier today. More is caught than more is taught. So it does not. It does. I don't know if it makes me feel good or what, but I'm sure you have the same thing. You didn't have to teach your kids how to cuss somebody out. I'm sure they
Yeah.
learned.
Yeah.
More is caught than more is taught. I didn't have to say, now this is what you say to them. Nah, please. But you know what? I learned from the best.
Yeah. My
More is caught than more is
I
taught.
did talk to my youngest son, who's like in his late 30s, and we had a long, long talk, just catching up. And he said, you know, it's funny how I think back on things that you used to say to me when I was younger. He said, you know how we always say older people say things, but you're not really sure like what the meaning is, but you know, they just have this thing that they say. And he said, I always think about you because you always used to say, I must have been saying some old people stuff, but anyway, he says he thinks about it, and he's like, it actually made sense, but I didn't really understand it until like a few years ago or something. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but yeah,
You no, you do because I find myself thinking about all of the little sayings that my mom and my grandmom, my granddad used to say, and then now today I'm like, I got it. I know exactly why you were saying those things because I either say the same thing or I'm thinking it. So yeah, I get it.
yeah, yeah. So, oh,
One of
go
my,
ahead. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say one of my favorite sayings that I used to remember my grandmother saying all the time, Grandma B, is that don't be worried about what people have to say because of the same people that have something to say don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out.
Okay.
So I don't be concerned what anybody thinks because of the same people that are saying stuff, the same people that got so much to say, they are the same ones that ain't got a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out. So we all
Yeah.
good.
And I find myself saying, "Oh well, a hard head makes a soft ass, doesn't it?"
What my mom used to
Say
say
it all
that
the
all the
I say it to my grandson. I was like, well, you just did it, so I mean, when you get tired of doing it, you'll not do it anymore. But you're 2 years old, and I'm not really trying to like be all over you and hover, but you'll get the message. So you're being hard headed, even at 2, because he's just really smart, you know what I mean? So some
time.
people might disagree with me, but I know my grandson. So
I don't know how we learn from them. We learn from our
yeah.
children. We gonna
Hmm.
learn from our grandchildren. So yeah, don't think that you can't learn now.
Yes, indeed. I
Especially
learned.
especially in reverse. Like Just because you're the adult, you're the grandparent, don't mean that you always going, what did I say? The person who thinks that they know everything knows nothing at all.
Uh-huh.
And
Yes.
here's another thing, too, that I'll leave. My grandmother told me this in 2020 when my life was in complete shambles.
Uh-huh.
People, if you were out there worried about something, especially if you're worried about somebody taking something from you, whether they taking something from you financially, whether they're taking something from you emotionally, whether they're trying to take away that man, that woman, whatever relationship, that friendship, what is meant for you is meant for you. What God has for you is for you. Can't nobody else take it away from you. If it was yours and it was meant for you, then can't nobody else take it away from you. Now, if they took it away from you, they're able to take it away from you. It was never yours to begin with.
I like that
We get
because
all
it's true.
we get all crazy and worked up over thinking and wanting to hold on to things, but if it was yours to begin with, they wouldn't be able to take it away from you. So that, we I hate to take it back to relationships, but I'm going to. So that little boo thing that you got, you sitting here cussing and fighting and going back and forth with the next, if he or she was yours to begin with, number one, you wouldn't be cussing and fighting and going back and forth with somebody, and you'd be able to rest your head at night and sleep knowing that nobody would be able to take them away from you. And if they do, then just say, okay, you were never mine to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And the minute that
Mm-hmm.
you can release that and let that go, the next best thing is around the corner.
Right around the corner. I mean, like as soon as you walk out your door.
Can I tell you that the truth is, we spoke about Fantasia, and the truth
What's
is that
that?
is that love is here.
Right?
Love is here. It's a different kind of love, but it's here.
Yeah. Wow. Mm. Wow.
And on that note,
Mm-hmm.
I want to say thank you so much for coming on in. And are you coming back next week?
If you'll have me, I will.
Yes, same place, same time, 7 p.m., same link.
Okay. Hopefully, I have my stuff together.
Yeah. This is just a test sample, We
Yeah.
got
Exactly.
same place, same time. Miss SOS will be back for Coaching Thursdays. We have no idea what we're going to be talking about. We might be talking about the spiritual. We spoke about pretty much all of them: spiritual, mental, physical. We didn't talk about physical. We didn't talk about dieting and food and getting out into nature. But maybe next week. We never know what you're going to get here on Coaching Sessions Thursdays. And yes, on that note, SOS, I will see you next week. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Anything you want to tell us before we get out of here?
Yeah, thanks everybody for listening. And thank you, Laren. We go a long way back. And I'm glad that, we're still here. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
thank you for that. And I'll see you the next time.
Okay, okay. Good night, good night. Peace and blessings. Talk to you soon.
Bye bye.
Good night. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. That was Miss SOS joining us tonight for Coaching Sessions Thursday. If you are interested in speaking with me, you can DM me, email me, text me, whatever you want to do. Reach out to me any type of way, and I'll give you information as far as what you need to do to show up here on 411 Podcast, Ringing Between the Wines. All right, so I would love to hear from you. I want feedback. Let me know how you feel about tonight's show. Thank you, thank you, thank you again to everyone out there who is joining. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, tag a friend. Thank you so much to the D Live family. Thank you so much to Facebook. I want to give a shout out to a few people. Miss Sophie Davis, thank you. Um, we have Alex Coquito all the way from Puerto Rico. Thank you for supporting me for since, like, what has it been, like 3 or 4 years at this moment. Onyx Blade, thank you so much. Thank you to my niece Okita. Thank you for supporting all my friends and family out there. Thank you to my mentor. Shout out to the Bronx, New York. So many people. Listen, I try not to do it this way because I don't want to forget people. Um, Blame my mind and not my heart. There's so many people out there who has helped over the years, and I want to say thank you. You can DM me on any social media platform. I believe Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok. You're able to send me direct messages. I'm also on YouTube, D Live, Daily Motion. You can sign up for my free monthly newsletter, Whispers of Wisdom. Awesome content delivered to your inbox once a month. Updates, exclusives, inspiration, motivation, debt free living from all of the four pillars: spiritual, mental, physical, financial. You'll find something in there. You can go ahead and subscribe at LarenGaines.com. Again, that is LarenGaines.com. And on that note, I will see you when I see you. Thank you so much. Sunday, spiritual Sundays. Mondays, mental Mondays. Tuesdays, transformational Tuesdays. Wednesday, wind down Wednesday. Thursday, coaching sessions Thursday. And Fridays, financial Fridays. You never know what you're going to get here on the 411 podcast, Reading Between the Wines. So I will see you when I see you. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.